Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Home Staging Talk Show Live. I'm Jenny Norris, your host, and this show is brought to you by the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. And I've got a great show for you today. We are going to be discussing the home staging industry statistics that came out. Those are super important for all of us in the industry, whether you're a real estate agent, a home stager, an investor, anybody who's involved in listing and selling properties. The statistics are really powerful, and they are current for 2025. We're also going to do an overview of the Greece conference for the European Association, share some highlights with you. And then we have a special guest interview with RELSO, one of our vendor partners, and you get to learn all about what they do and what they have as far as their lineup. So I did want to start with just some announcements today. So first of all, of course, hopefully you guys have been seeing.
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
This is our IHOSP Con Expo.
Are you ready?
Get ready.
Are you ready? Ready, set, go. Are you ready?
Get ready.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go. Made for this and I play.
So the conference is virtual. And I know for some, you might be thinking like, well, why is that the case? Why is it virtual? We polled a lot of our members. We reached out to those who like to attend conferences. There's a lot of travel bans going on. People from other countries who usually attend are not traveling. Some people just have travel concerns, with planes crashing and so forth. I believe there was another one in a different country yesterday or today. Anyway, so those are all legitimate concerns. It's also people don't want to leave their businesses. And so we listened to what the feedback was, and we decided to do virtual so nobody has to travel anywhere or pay for hotels and airfare and any other travel expenses. So you can attend this from the leisure of your home or office. All of the sessions are going to be recorded and they will be made available on the IHOSP site. So when you buy a ticket now, it's $99, which is really a great price. $99, you'll get access to all of the sessions. After the conference, the prices will go up. Some of them will be a la carte. The luxury designation alone will be sold for much more than that. So you definitely want to get a ticket to attend. And even if you can't watch the sessions live streaming, you can access all of the information when you have a paid ticket. So register now. The registration information is on all of the marketing information, but just to say it here is ihospconexpo.com. ihospconexpo.com. And it's all about building your success, future, and your business with marketing and branding information. We'll be talking about AI, how to use that for your marketing, CRMs, how to save time to manage your business process for you to get the business. A lot of people focus on the actual staging work and so forth, but you have to market in order to get that business. So having a client relationship management tool that also does social media, keeps everything organized, and you don't have to even think about it. That's one of the things we'll be sharing at the virtual conference. Maureen Kelly will be talking about that. There's also the ability for you to get $1,000 value from Notable, one of our partners who does the pay at closing option for staging. And it's interesting, as soon as we announced our pay at closing option, these other groups all of a sudden came out with their pay at closing, which is, I guess imitation is the best form of flattery, right? But Notable is a financing company, and they're not a lender. They're not like a bank lender. So when they fund things, it's you have up to $50,000 to put towards your staging. Your client does, whether it's staging, renovations, anything they need to do to update their property for sale, up to $50,000. They don't need to use all $50,000. So it's almost like a line of credit in that regard. And of course, the staging is part of that. You get paid up front. The terms and rates that they charge for the financing is very low compared to something like Curbio or even Zoom Casa, who we had worked with in the past. They're up to like a 20% fee now. That's high. That's excessive. And so Notable isn't anywhere close to that. So you definitely want to check them out. And anybody who has a ticket to the conference gets the $1,000 white label page. And what a white label page is it allows people to get the information about this company, but it looks like it's from your company. So you're not sending people to a third party. This is something stagers want to share with every agent that you work with, because money is the number one reason why people will not stage. They don't think they can afford it. And agents shouldn't have to come out of pocket to pay for it either. So here's a solution that helps the sellers to be able to afford to do what they need to do to update their property, whether it's painting, carpeting, countertops, staging, whatever they need to do. And then they can pay it off at closing. So it's very simple, and that's notable. That's just one of the benefits of attending the conference. And then My Card is another program that we are partnered with. It is a social commerce platform. And it's a digital card that you can share your information, but it goes way beyond that. And it's actually a way to make revenue. So you want to learn about that as well. So all of this great information, plus I'll be sharing about pricing strategies to get, to close business and making sure that you are actually profitable in your business. We have the luxury designation that I mentioned. We'll be talking about design and biophilic and the trends and PR and increasing your brand recognition through these avenues. Warehousing. Karen Mendenhall has a great session on warehousing, the journey from basement to build out. And so that's going to be a fabulous session because her warehouse is incredibly amazing. It's beautiful. So you want to take a look at all of that and tap into the sessions either live, or you can then watch them. If you can't attend them live, they will be recorded so you can access them at any time. And then we have a speaker, Julian Buckner, who is going to be talking about expanding your business into seven figures, either through expansion or acquisition. And so the diversification part of the conference is really important too, because as your business grows, you need to know, well, what's next? Do I continue to build, or do I want to sell? Do I want to get acquired? All of that will be covered. So all of these speakers are expert speakers. Short-term rental will be covered as well. And so those of you that are looking to learn more about design or short-term rental or marketing and sales, pricing, all of this is going to be covered. So make sure to get your ticket. It's going to be very, very exciting and very easy to attend. We listened and we understand that you guys want things that are easy. I did want to share some of the highlights of our conference. This is a slide of the session that I was speaking at with other association leaders. There's a gal on my left who runs the UK. The one next to her, I believe, is Romania. And then there was a gal that piped in from Italy. And then Sonia Radovinovic, who's on my right, she is the president of the European Association. And what our panel was about is setting standards for professional home stagers and defining what is home staging, what is a professional, what does that entail? And so we all worked as leaders to put this document together, and then we officially signed it at the conference, and each of us received a copy. And this is the beginning of really establishing the professionalism of our industry now and into the future, because Europe is very different than the US as far as how they went about establishing home staging. They were able to go to the government levels. And so imagine their countries, a lot of them are like the size of our states. And so when they establish an association, it'd be like us going to the state level and having a different association in every single state. That's what it's kind of like. And so some of them had set that up that way, and which was just fine. And what's good about that is that it starts from the top down, establishing the standards for how do you enter the industry. Well, that didn't happen in the US. In the US, let me just remove this so you can see me. In the United States, home staging just sort of grew organically. It sort of came out of a need for the industry. The person that founded it, of course, had a design background, saw the benefit of making changes in properties, and then it sort of moved forward. But we didn't have guidelines and parameters like you must have education, you must adhere to a code of ethics, you must have these different standards that are important for stagers as far as the work quality and so forth. That didn't exist. Well, now it does. Now it does, because this document that we signed will be released onto the IHOSP site, so you can all see it. And it'll be made public, and it's going to be shared with the different entities here in the United States and other countries that we're not participating in the conference. So they understand that there's a framework and an expectation of what a professional home stager is. And I hope you guys are excited about this. I know a lot of you have been asking for this for many years. We did try to establish something here in the US, then COVID hit, but there were also people that were unwilling to participate. And so what I shared at our conference was, camaraderie and collaboration is powerful. And when people are fearful of competition or feeling like they're not going to be in charge or something, that kills. That's an industry killer. And for our industry to move forward, we need to have collaboration and camaraderie and cooperation. So I'm really excited for what was going to come out of this particular session and what preceded it with our working on this for a couple of months in order to get the document just right in all the language. Sandra Holmes, of course, was there, and she was on the session on tips and tricks, how to grow your business. And you can see some of the other people in there. A lot of you know Paula Bullard. So she is originally from, I think, from the US, but she lives in the Netherlands. And then Connie is here from Spain, and Cornelia is from Germany, and then Claudia is from Poland. So a lot of different countries were represented, and they talked about different things that they do to grow their business. And of course, Sandra always has great things to share. And I did a video of that, so you can check that out on our site. This was a luxury course that we taught. So following the European conference, we taught the LHS, just like we're doing here for our virtual conference. And these are all the people that graduated, and they were learning the latest information on luxury. The luxury market has shifted. It has changed. And if you don't have the most current information and you don't understand how the market has shifted and what the expectations are, then you are behind the times. So the designation we're giving in our conference starting on the 16th and 17th is going to be timely. It's going to be current. And you'll understand that there's a gap between high end and luxury. You'll understand how the expectations of the agents you work with have changed, what different resources we have to better serve them, and what it means to be a luxury stager. So definitely sign up for that. I'm really proud of all these people in Europe that took the time to take the class. I wanted to highlight these two people. This is Diana Menon and Ron Van Giel. They are partners in a company called the Staging Company. And they're not a staging company as far as setting up houses. What they do is they rent furniture to stagers all over Europe. So there isn't one place that they won't go. And they're headquartered out of the Netherlands. And so they send their trucks on the road, and they're delivering beautiful furniture. And so we used to say that Europe was sort of behind the times of the US as far as their process and so forth, but they're quickly catching up. So can you imagine if you had a company like this here that would service every state? We don't have one company in the United States that does that. Court Furniture is not in every location. I know they're a franchise. And a lot of us have to rely on building out our own inventory and assets for our company in order to run our business. And this company will deliver anywhere. And they're just a really fun couple. And we had a great time with them. So follow them on Facebook. They have some really great projects that they're doing. And they're just, again, leading the way there in Europe. And then I was honored to receive the Legacy of Leadership Award. That was a big surprise for me. And this is Sonia presented it to me. So it was based on my 23 years of service in leadership. And actually, it's 21 years of service and leadership. But regardless, since 2023 is when I stepped into leadership. And I want to encourage all of you that are watching this now or in the future, volunteer and serve the association, serve the industry. You give back of your time. That's really where my heart has always been, is giving back and serving others. And so when you do that, you are entering into a different aspect of business and of the industry, where you're not just a participant, you're actually somebody who's helping shape the industry. And those of you that are watching, we need more young people to get involved. We want the associations to reflect who's in the industry. And in Europe, they're a much younger group in Europe. They didn't, most of them are 30s, 40s maybe. There are some older ones as well. But our industry, our average age in the industry, I think I saw a statistic that came out with this. I think it's around 45 to 55 is the average age here in the US. And that's because a lot of us did careers or raised our families, and then we decided it's me time, and we entered into the industry. And these younger people, and it's happening here as well, there's younger people in their 20s and 30s that are getting involved. And that's a good thing, because they're the future of the industry. So if that's you and you want to serve, just reach out to us and let us know. There's a place for everybody, whether it's on the local level, state level, national level, international level, even, for you to be able to get involved. All right, I wanted to go through our statistics just quickly. These came out a couple months ago, and I'm not sure if you saw these, but these are current statistics for today. And so the statistics, we start off with, I'm going to have to minimize my screen a little bit here. You can still see me, I hope. But I tried to print this out. It's a document that's about 30 pages, and it has a lot of great information. It's very detailed, which is nice, but it's hard to read on the screen. So it has an overview of the numbers and so forth. And what this stat is showing is that these stagers are located all over the world. And from Australia, South Africa, South America, those are emerging areas that are on the grow. And USA has the highest numbers, followed by Canada, or followed by, excuse me, by the countries in Europe collectively are outnumber Canada. Probably not the US, but we have to see as far as professional home stagers. And what we put down at the bottom is that in the US, there was 4.06 million sales of properties. And that's the lowest level. So that was 2024. That was the lowest level since 1995. So last year sucked for real estate. You know, a lot of us felt that, especially in my household. I'm married to a realtor, and my son is a realtor as well. And so a lot of agents felt the pinch with the NAR ruling and a lot of things that happened. It really impacted the market. So that's slightly below 2023's slightly anemic levels, but that's the lowest since 1995. So in 2024, there was about 683,000 new homes that were built. Globally, and go down to this other slide here. Let's talk about how many properties stagers impact that are for sale. So if we estimate that an estimated 30% of properties are sold that are sold in the United States are staged professionally, about 30%. Your market, it could be higher. Some markets is lower. That's an average. Okay. So how you know your numbers, go look at 10 comps, 10 comparable properties, same price range, same locations. How many out of the 10 are professionally staged? If there's one, that's 10%. If there's three, that's 30%. If you can find six, that's 60%. That's how you know your number. And I know that different market segments within price ranges can also differ. But if 30% is staged and using the median sale price of $407,500 in the US, that means that we impacted $1.66 trillion right here in value of sold properties. And 1.218 million houses sold in the United States were staged. That's a huge number because collectively, we know we're a small industry when compared to the larger real estate industry that has millions of agents, and we have, just thousands of stagers. But 33 billion was added money made in property sales from staging by the homeowners. They reaped the benefit of $33 billion. And 10 to 85 billion is the range of added money in the sale based on the statistics of 1 to 18% more. So going through the numbers, you need to look at this because this will empower you to educate your clients about the benefits of staging, why it's important, and so forth. And then I love looking at how many years have you been in the business. So this, the largest chunk was 1 to 3 years, followed by 16 to 20 years in our survey respondents. And then 4 to 7 years was the next biggest one. And then do you have more than one location? Only a small percentage has more than one location. I believe you're going to see that grow. There was only 3.2% of the respondents shared they have more than one location. It could be within their same city, but we also know people who have franchised or expanded, I should say, into different states. And there is a franchise model that I'm aware of that has launched into different states. We'll see how that goes as well. But it's an interesting statistic, and I believe that number is going to grow. And then how many properties do you stage annually, or you or your team stage annually? 0 to 50 was the biggest chunk, 0 to 50 properties. Followed by 50 to 100, then 150 to 200. Then 101 to 150, followed by 151 to 200. So this kind of aligns itself with the number of years of experience in the business. But if you're in good company, if you stage up to 50 properties a year, that's and you want to increase your volume, you can get there. It's just a matter of time. And the average price properties that are staged, 500 to 750,000 is the average properties being staged in the United States. So 29% of the respondents shared that that's their sweet spot. Followed by, there's some that are lower, 100 to 250, et cetera, and then the high end. So when you look at the data, it breaks it all down for you, which is really cool. And now we also asked, what is your market like right now? And of course, the market's always shifting. And the correcting market is the market has slowed, lower price points sell quickly, and higher price properties sit longer. That was the number one response. Some people said it was a balanced market, about 16%. 16% said it was a hot market, like to know what those people are, and then a slow market was 3.2%. I just read a statistic or an article that shared that for the first time in years, there are far more sellers than there are buyers. So we have definitely shifted into a buyer's market in almost all the cities in the U.S. and even other countries. So that's important because as the market slows, staging becomes even more in demand. And I know I've experienced that with my company. We have far surpassed the number of houses we've had staged at any given time. We passed that number in May. And so we're up by about 12 or 15 properties, vacant properties additional on top of what our normal volume is, which is a lot. And so that means you need to get more things possibly, or partner with other stagers. And so that's why partners like RELSO, who's with us, will be key in helping you acquire items that are good quality, are going to reflect your brand and so forth. They're not cookie cutter. They don't look like everything else, and will help you add to your equipment for your company. Asset generating equipment is what they are versus inventory, and allow you to have some unique things. Then it breaks down what a consultation is, what percent of your business is consultations. So you can see that, and it's interesting to compare yourself with what the survey says. Then it breaks down the occupied staging for you, and then it gets into the vacant staging. What types of consultations do you provide? So there's 5 different consultations. Those of you that there's actually 4 reflected here. There's one that we didn't bother to add in, but most people are doing a walk and talk, followed by a consultation with a summary, et cetera, which you can see what this is. And the average pricing for a consultation is provided as well. 200 to 300 is the average consultation price. Consultation prices range from 100 to 450 around the country based on what the respondents shared. Your price could be higher, your price could be lower. It's all based on your rate as a stager, your hourly rate, and then you apply that towards how you provide your consultations. And then do your consultations turn into hands-on stagings? I'm really happy to see this conversion rate. That's almost 93% said yes. So that means when we're advising a client how to get ready for sale, 93% of the time we're assisting them with what I call a phase 2 hands-on staging, where we're either doing the work for them, helping them do the work, bringing things in to add to what they may or may not have in their house that's needed for the staging. So that leads us to this next slide, which is owner-occupied items only, or mixed media. And thank you, Kevin Tain. This is an industry term that I like to use, and I'm sure other people have adopted it. And it's something he came up with. We're mixing our items in with the homeowner's items, so it's a mixed media, which is usually a painting, an artist term, but it applies nicely here to home staging. And so a lot of people are doing the mixed media. They're supplementing what the homeowner has almost 68% of the time. And then this is the pricing for the average owner occupied hands-on staging price, 250 to 500. And then of course it's going to be more when items are added from your side, which involves your time and your the items themselves that you're charging a monthly fee for, et cetera. Okay, so then we get into some of the infographics, which are available when you purchase. If you're a member of iHouse, you get the statistics survey. You can download it, and then if not, you can purchase it for $20. These are the infographics, and they come separately. They won't be in a page like this, but this shows you the different averages. So price range for consultation, 100 to 500, the average was 250. A hands-on price range for mixed media stagings, 250 to 3,000, the average was $1,700. A price range for using the owner-occupied things, just using their things only, $886 was the average. And then $3,500 was the average for a vacant home staging for an average price property. And then we drop down here, $7,100 for a vacant luxury property. And then there's the vacant staging statistics here that you can see that we break everything down based on the types of properties, what percentage of your business is vacant, what is the average size vacant property that you stage. 2,000 to 4,000 square feet came in as the average vacant staging property. So you might stage smaller properties. We do smaller properties all the time. We just staged a 6,000 square foot yesterday. So it's going to vary, and it breaks down the numbers for you. So this is a very good educational tool. And then the average investment for staging a mid-ranged priced vacant property is $2,000 to $3,000. And the luxury is the average is $7,100. So I already shared the infographics with you, but these pages break down the data for you. And then the days on market, that's really where staging can shine. Days on market, the impact. And so this breaks down average price properties. So we take a look at two things: a property that's been sitting on the market and it hasn't sold, and then the client decides to stage it, versus the one that decides to stage it from the very beginning. And then we see the days on market. So properties were on the market 41 days before being staged, and the average days on market after staging were only 12. So it sold 3 to 4 times faster. For average price, the national average days on market, so I looked at those as well, were 66 days. So this is from this first number here, the 41 and 12. Those are from our respondents for the properties that they staged on average, they were on the market for, an average of 41 days before they were staged. The national average is 66 days on market, and then 12 days for properties that get staged. Then they, get attention and they get an offer. That was 12 days. So that's 5.5 times faster. So these infographics, again, are available for you. For luxury properties, average days on market is 65. Average days on market after staging is 27. For the properties that our respondents staged, the ones that they staged had been on the market for 137 days on average, just sitting there. And after staging, they sold in 27 days. They got an offer. So again, the numbers are powerful, and you need to be sharing these with your clients. And then did any of your properties reduce in price prior to going under contracts? This kind of talks about the price reductions. And so again, this is important because people didn't stage. They experienced a price reduction, which is lost equity. You can't really get that back. And then did any of your properties sell over list? Yes, they did. And the percent over list average was, I think the next number here, it shows 6.4% on average of the average of the numbers. Now, the average is 1 to 18% more, but 6.4% over list after staging was the average. So your properties it might be a 1% gain, it might be an 18% gain. That's huge. But 6.4% is respectable. That's a good gain. So here we break down how much more is that for properties that sell, just using the 6.4 number. 31.6 sold for 1 to 3% more, 31.6% sold for 4.6 more. So you can see how we came up with this number. And if 69% of the properties sold for 4 to 18% over list, that's a good statistic to be sharing. And then this breaks down the commission for agents. When houses sell for more, they make more money and the sellers make more money. So how much more? These are the statistics, the infographics that you can have when you get the statistical survey. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. Everybody wins. And then there's these infographics here that show, the process, because we never assume that people know how you work, because they don't. And so the first graphic here shows your process from the time the phone rings to you staging a property, the average value of, the items in the property. And you can modify this yourself. These are numbers that are average numbers. And then the one on the right-hand side is the 16 steps for staging a vacant property. Because again, our clients might see 1 or 2 steps. They don't know all the other parts that we go into it. And so when they ask you, why is the fee so high? They question your pricing. It's because there's 16 steps that we're involved in, not just 2. All right. And then the average investment for a consultation, pricing, and then it shows the process for a consultation, what we go through. And then the next slide shows the kind of a conglomeration of the data, the range of investment for consultation, the average investment for staging, for luxury, the time on market, the day's impact, and then the one on the right shows the top areas to stage. So these are just some of the pages in the summary. So I encourage you guys all to get that. Again, you can download it from the iHosp site when you're a member. And should you not be a member, then you can get it for $20 by purchasing it at the iHosp store. Okay. I think Anshul should be here. So now I'm going to bring on our special guest. This is Anshul from RELSO, and I have purchased a lot of their items. I love them. Very unique. So you're ready to come in. I don't think it gives you a countdown, but let's just add you to the stage. Good morning.
Good morning, Jenny. How are you?
Good. Thanks for sitting through all that.
Lovely number.
Yeah, of course. And if you would like to go ahead and introduce who you are and let the audience know your background and why you're here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Anshul. I'm the co-founder and CEO of RELSO. RELSO is a D2C furniture brand in US where we manufacture and design and offer designer furniture made up of natural materials like shisham wood, mango wood, marble, and we supply directly to the customer. So there is no middleman involved. So hence there is no random price markup. So you get designer furniture at really good prices. And to our home staging customers, the benefit of operating with RELSO is there's no minimums. So there's absolutely no minimums. You can sign up for a trade program and get additional discounts on the retail price. So yeah.
And you guys entered the market. It was like last fall, right? When you first sort of emerged.
That's right.
And so, talk about your product distribution, because one of the things stagers have a challenge is if they're West Coast versus East Coast, how to get the product. So you have a warehouse or facility in Pennsylvania, and that's where you distribute from. So talk
That's
about
right.
the time frame for how long does it take to get product shipped from there to maybe say somebody in California?
Right. So we right now we have one warehouse. We obviously we plan to expand to more warehouses as the business grows. But typically we have seen that across the US, it takes us anywhere from 2 to 6 days. So if it's like in the East Coast, it may take 2 to 3 days. If it's going to West Coast, it may take 6 to 7 days. And because of furniture as designer, it's going to it's probably 3 or 4 pieces probably in an order. We want to ensure that it goes with the bread, taking the best logistics route so that the furniture you get is in the best condition.
Right. And so talk about the design of your furniture, because when you guys first release furniture, those of you watching, you need to check out their site. So it's relso.today. Relso.today is their website, and they have all of their product online in real time. You can see what's available. They also have things like what's coming, coming soon. And for example, one of my favorite, I actually bought two of them. Two of my favorite pieces are these they're not lotus, but they're the coffee tables, but they're kind of like sculptory shape, and I use them individually. I put them together. I have not seen them anywhere else. I have not seen any other company providing those. So they have things that we've seen. I call it the acacia ball. So it's like if you took a ball and cut it in half and it's made of wood, that product. So they carry those. Their prices are better than what you find other places. And so I have, there's an upholstered chair you guys have that has like it's a curved back and the arms are kind of thick rounded. And then it has a frame to it. That thing retails for $3,000 or $4,000 on other sites. And so your price is around 800, I believe. And so they have items that definitely are suitable for higher end properties as well as the average price properties. So you want to take a look at what they have: end tables, coffee tables, console tables. They have accent chairs. And what are you guys coming out with? Are you going to get into any like dining tables or things like that? What's in the future, Anshul?
Right. So multiple questions. I'll just address one by one. So yes, dining tables. We have actually launched a couple of dining tables which have been really liked. We're bringing more dining tables. We're going to launch more cabinets and storage items like drawers, etc. Things like that. So so multiple categories, but more accents, more suitable to, I would say, living room furniture versus beds. We also want to launch sofas. We're still searching for that design differentiation because we don't want to offer a Me Too product like you've seen Jenny rightly mentioned. In terms of design, the way we think about a design, so Jenny, our company's philosophy is that we believe that the world belongs to people who dare to dream and work really hard, persevere really hard to earn it. So we want to celebrate them with offering furniture that kind of displays what they've earned in life. And our kind of designs kind of resonate that. So it's made of real materials. It's very modern, Midwest, mid-century modern designs made up of real materials, like I mentioned, and something that really elevates the space. Gives some when you're staging. Like you mentioned in your report, right? Staging people to make their homes look beautiful, and that's what our furniture does. So that's our philosophy in designs. Yeah.
And I love that philosophy about the dreamers, and because their shapes are very unique. And I actually sent them a table that I purchased. It's an oval table that's hollow in the middle. And I said, can you guys do anything like this? And so, yes, they can. And they actually have end tables that I purchased that kind of go with that. And one of the things you've pointed out a couple of times is it's real wood. So a lot of companies online that we know, a lot of us have shopped online and from other people, they're made with the particle board or MDF. And, they look good, but like it's over time, it's going to chip. It's not going to wear well. A dining table that has MDF on top it's basically an image of wood that's glued to the top of the MDF. And that's why they're so inexpensive. And so you have to kind of assess, like, am I going to invest in a piece that's going to last me for years in rotation? And do it, make me a lot of money back, or am I going to buy something that's cheaper that's going to fall apart or get wrecked the first time it goes out, like a big chunk comes out of it. I've experienced that with like desks and tables. I'm like, what happened to this piece? And so when you look at the pricing, it is very competitive when you compare like with like. So you can't compare their stuff against an MDF coffee table or something like that, because it's not, they may look the same, but they are not the same. And I think your products are also really good for design projects, even for like short-term rental, things like that, where people, are going to use it every day. You want it to hold up well, because staging items, people aren't supposed to be using it. So their life can be a little bit extended because it's not daily use. Your items will stand the test of time because they're made of real wood. And I'm going to put a plug in for the couches. Just make sure that they're not too heavy for us to carry, because not all of us have movers. I do have movers, but I've carried my fair share of couches. And anything that's modular, that's very popular, because I've been buying floor sofas and things that are in pieces, and you can put them together and reconfigure them. A flexible piece like that that's well made and looks good, that's really popular. So what else you want to share about RELSO as far as work? How do stagers sign up? How can they work with you?
Right. So it's very easy. So the website is upgraded now. It's relsofurniture.com. So you can just go there, or you can just go to the trade program on our website. Just enter your details. It's super easy. Just enter your EIN number, and you can become a trade program partner with us. As soon as you sign up, you start getting 15% off flat on any product that you buy from us. There are no minimums. You can even buy one product or just one piece of something. And it's probably, I think, around after $350, it's free shipping across the US as well. So it's really handy. And the fact that we are able to offer this, Jenny, I think very important, is that because we manufacture ourselves, there's no middleman involved. There's no buying from somewhere and reselling. It gives us opportunity to give really good designer furniture at good prices. I think that's been our USP. Another USP is something that I wanted to mention is that because, like you mentioned, because the furniture is made up of real materials, one of our USP is that it lasts really long. So it is versatile. It can be rotated across properties, across multiple projects. It is not we follow trend, but we are careful that our furniture should not just follow the trend and go out after 3-4 months. It should stay for long. So that allows you to that allows you to not keep looking for newer designs. So that's it. One of the things that you also mentioned is that you suggested certain designs. So I think one thing that I've heard from a lot of home staging customers of ours is that they have a lot of suggestions on design and the kind of furniture they're looking for. So the website that you're going to see, there's a lookbook feature which we are going to launch, where there are designs that we are not able to launch because of working capital constraints and all, but we want to showcase what is in trend, what are we working on, and we want to receive feedback from you guys, whether you are liking it or whether you want to see that. And more people, when they give feedback, we know that these are the kind of furniture, or these are the kind of designs that they're looking for, or these are the kind of category that they're looking for, and we launch that. So you are involved in the product development process as well. So it becomes very personalized relationship that you have with RELSO versus, let's say, any other platform. So that's something that we are working on.
And I didn't want to keep your little face small, so that's why I exited out. But this is your Father's Day sale. So the items in the picture here, end tables, the chair, the coffee, these tables here, the two tables are all your product. Now, is this couch something that is just for the picture, right?
That's right. That's
okay.
Right.
So they have a lot of the accent tables. Their designs are very clean line. They're not overly fussy. As you said, they kind of lean more modern to mid-mod, and but they're embracing the curves. And again, their accent tables, there's one that you have out of stock. I think is it the one that I said that's like the Lotus table?
Yeah, that is in stock.
Back in. Oh yeah, and they even have, and so the 20% off sale. When does this go till?
This goes till 16 June.
All right, till I think that's Monday or Tuesday. Monday.
Yeah.
So this goes till Monday. The Father's Day sales you can access and save 20% off on the items, and we can put this on the site as well, so you'll be able to see it on the iHosp social media pages and access that. And again, with the pricing on their public site, they'll have all the product. I don't know if you list prices on there, but But to get the access to the pricing for our industry members, you need to create an account. And so those of you that are looking to create an account, is very easy. As Anshul said, you should have a resale license or wholesale license to show that you're legitimate in the business. But they'll let you know what you need to provide. I know there's a couple of states that don't require people to have that, like Delaware. But whatever it is, they'll help you get your account set up. And then they have a really great salesperson, Ritu. She sends me information almost daily about sales and specials. And so we really appreciate your partnership and the products too. Again, they're beautiful. And if you're looking for something that's going to not be like everybody else has, and is quality and is going to add a unique factor to your staging, you definitely want to check out RELSO. Anything else you want to share?
I think one last point, that we stand by our furniture. So, you don't have to worry. Anything goes wrong, we are here. Like you mentioned, we believe in good customer service, and we are serving people who have worked really hard to build spaces. So, we believe in the industry, we believe in the work that you guys are doing, and hence we are here for any issues. So we stand by our furniture. But if I know that issues do arise and something does go wrong, but you have worked with us, Jenny, and others have worked with us. We stand by it, and work very hard to resolve any issues. So yeah, trust us, give us a chance, enjoy the Father's Day sale, and try and order something from us.
And I did have one last question, because I know people are probably thinking like tariffs. How much of that impacted the pricing that we see currently? Have you had to adjust your pricing because of the import-export issues?
Not really, Jenny, because we manufacture a lot of our stuff in India. We were kind of prepared for what was happening, so we kind of anticipated it way back.
Good.
So we didn't want to change our price, and that's why if you go and just on the price front, if you go and check the prices, you will find the product being very similar to a restoration hardware or product. I think the language is very similar to restoration hardware or a pottery barn, but the pricing is probably 40% cheaper than that. And
At least.
it's actual solid wood. I don't know about the wood that they are using, probably MDF and something. It's coming from China or somewhere, but it's actual wood that we are using. So if you buy the product, when we have tested it, nothing will happen for more than 5 years. You will have to throw away the product will not break down. So at a very good price, you're getting great furniture that you can rotate, that is very versatile.
That's actually an excellent point, and something maybe you guys want to put some marketing out on that. The lifespan of a piece of furniture, for most stagers, we're looking at maybe a year to 2 years, and then have to transition stuff that's cheaply made. The MDF products. You just said 5 years, and I'm not going to hold you to that, but it's like something that goes out long in rotation, and as long as the style is still on trend,
right?
You figure if a table, let's say you have it out in a house, and you're charging I'm just going to say $100 for the table, or even let's be conservative, like $50 a month for the table. It goes out, so it's $600 a year. You're making $3,000 on that table versus you buying something that's crappier, less quality, and then having to replace it. So think about the how many times you have to turn a product in order for it to pay for itself, and then the lifespan of that product, how long that's going to last in rotation. So again, investing more money up front for an item makes sense in the long run. And that's why we have RELSO.
That's right. And that's
thank you so much. Yeah. And go check out their website. I put the links on there. RELSO Today, I just want to make sure to clarify, .today, that's the catalog, correct?
No.
You mentioned RELSOfurniture.com, and I put that in there. Yeah. RELSOfurniture.com is the site to sign up. So what is RELSO.today? That's the catalog?
No, so we've just changed the domain name, .today to the furniture. We wanted to use .com because it's more popular.
Okay, so you change it to RELSOfurniture.com. So no more RELSO Today. It's RELSOfurniture.com. Awesome. That's very easy to remember too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for being on. Again, we value you. I see Orlando's on here making some comments too. So he's a vendor partner, helps manage the site. On our platform, there are banners and different things that their company's really good about pushing out the different specials that they have. And then, of course, we share that out to our mass database as well. So hopefully you're getting some good exposure, and I can't wait to see the items you're coming up with next. And if I see something I like, I'm going to send you a picture.
Absolutely.
Can you do this? Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would love that. And we would probably build something on the website as well. So you can just go and interact with the website, and we'll receive the information. But lovely to be here. Thank you so much, for inviting me. And as always, we are rooting for home staging industry. We are building our product to suit your needs, both on the furniture that we're building and how you are accessing the platform. So I hope when you try our platform, you get that experience.
And I need to get you connected with the Europeans, because they are definitely expanding. That the couple I showed, Diana and Ron, a very unique business they have. They're the only one of their kind in Europe, and they buy massive volume. They have a partner, an investor that has helped them really fund their growth. So we'll get you connected, because they also, all this unique accent thing, their aesthetic is much more modern, I think, than a lot of what we do in the United States. We tend to we add a lot more layers sometimes, and that would be great to get you connected. And so thank you for being on, and thank you for those of you that tuned in. Make sure to sign up for the iHosp virtual conference starting this Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday, the sessions and the schedule are all on our site. You can check that out and check out all the speakers. And I'm looking forward to sharing about pricing for profit to make sure you have the money you need to be able to buy the products and the items that you need to expand your business and stand out from the competition with unique items. So thanks, Anshul. Have a great weekend. And I don't know, are you a father?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, happy future Father's Day. Happy
Thank you.
Father's Day
Thank
to all the dads out there, whether you're a dad of a child, a fur baby, as a dad, maybe you're in a father role for other people and so forth. We just want to say happy Father's Day, and we appreciate you. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.